Welcome to the Weekly Edge, 28th of June. Here's the report where we look back over the past week, all events, what's happened, and we have a look to the future. Have a look at the report. It's going to give you some great insights into what you can do in this coming week for swing trading and also for day trading. Have a look and tell me what you think.
The final week of June 2026 delivered the sharpest sell-off the tech sector has seen since April 2025. The Nasdaq dropped 4.6%, erasing billions in market cap in a matter of days. The absolute epicenter of this pressure was highly localized. It was driven by heavy semiconductor selling and a massive 13% plummet in SoftBank stock. While megacap tech bled out on the left of this scorecard, the UK FTSE 100 gained 1.5%, and the Dow Jones trended higher. We have to ask if this sudden drop in tech heavyweights is an isolated event or the leading edge of a global market panic. These scales show selling is concentrated only in the most expensive, crowded corner of the market, and it is currently being outweighed by advancing issues elsewhere. Correctly identifying this dynamic as a localized rotation rather than a broad panic dictates how you survive the volatility and capitalize on where the money is moving right now. Global institutional capital acts as a closed-loop system. Currently, a massive reservoir is locked in the crowded AI and semiconductor trade, where the Nasdaq took its hit. But the pressure valve opened when the highly anticipated OpenAI IPO was officially delayed to 2027. That delay shattered the timeline for immediate gratification. Investors positioned for a rapid liquidity event realized they would have to wait, an extra year, prompting impatient capital to completely exit the trade. The underlying premise of the AI boom remains intact, but because the timeline was forcibly extended, institutional capital is pulling back to seek immediate realized returns elsewhere. The OpenAI delay was only the first valve. The rotation accelerated rapidly due to a second, macro-level pressure point, a globally synchronized central bank tightening phase. On this central bank scorecard, the ECB hiked to 2.25%, and the Bank of Japan hiked to 1%, a historic departure from zero-rate policy. In response, the Fed held rates steady, but their dot plot flipped to indicate an upcoming hike. This line chart tracking the USD-JPY pair illustrates a glaring paradox. Despite the Bank of Japan's historically aggressive hike, the yen immediately collapsed to a 40-year low of 161.95 against the dollar. This happens because relentless US dollar strength acts as a dominant gravitational force. Backed by Fed hike bets, the high-yielding dollar easily overpowers local Japanese policy interventions. A globally hawkish, strong dollar environment guarantees that yielding US assets are supreme. Capital is actively repelled away from high-risk, future-growth tech sectors when risk-free rates offer such high returns today. So if billions of dollars are draining from the tech reservoir, where exactly are they landing? Returning to our capital flow map, we can trace the pipeline directly into three specific zones: blue-chip value, low-tech and energy sectors, and insulated domestic flows like the India Nifty 50. This global equity scorecard provides the empirical proof. The exact sectors identified by the flow map are showing resilient, positive returns for the week, fully absorbing the shock of the tech drop. This diagram illustrates commodities reacting to the macro environment. Gold is suppressed by the heavy pressure of firmer real yields. Simultaneously, WTI crude is dropping to $69 a barrel as the geopolitical risk premium drains out. The capital flow is hyper-rational. Institutions seek safety in yield, value, and energy while punishing overvalued tech. We enter the upcoming week with two firmly established realities: a textbook defensive rotation and dominant US dollar strength. This timeline maps the week. Monday and Tuesday's Sintra and JOLTS data set the inflation baseline. The fulcrum is Thursday's early non-farm payrolls report. This creates sequence risk, trading NFP directly into Friday's holiday closure, a liquidity vacuum prone to outsized moves on thin volume. This matrix splits the tactical mandate. Swing traders should reduce gross exposure before payrolls, tilting toward defensive value and non-US outperformers like the FTSE 100. For day traders, the mandate is simple: keep your powder dry until Thursday's NFP and wage data drops. Survival this week depends on distinguishing the tech-specific rotation from a broader market panic and maintaining discipline as we move toward the illiquid holiday vacuum.
Hope you enjoyed the weekly edge, and don't forget you can get the daily edge on subscription to your inbox, links below, every single day. Cheers guys.